Thanks for joining us. And first tonight, they're the untold stories of our past, anecdotes of real-life history still alive today. Tonight, we'll start the show with a look at how our nation is rewriting modern history with a more personal touch. One veteran story at a time. Matt Fitzpatrick reports.
In 1964, a young Richard Dion was drafted to go to war. Today, almost 40 years after his service, many of his wounds and scars are visible. Others still haunt him from within. But ultimately, it was his service to our country in Vietnam that he says made him a better man. And that's why Richard Dion is sharing his stories for the country to listen.
It's nice to have somebody to listen and just get it off your chest. A lot of people don't realize what was done, and a lot of people that were there will appreciate it because they've seen it and they've been there and had experiences similar to the ones I've had.
In 2000, Congress started the Veterans History Project, a nationwide campaign to collect and preserve the histories of those who served our country for future use by students, historians, or you and I. The project relies on volunteers to collect interviews that will ultimately make their way to Washington, D.C. and be preserved in the Library of Congress. Congressman Scott Garrett is leading the charge in his district, conducting interviews, but even deeper than that, listening to largely untold stories of heroism, sacrifice, and service.
You get a different side of it, different aspect of it when you're hearing it firsthand. And also the way we do it, of course, is when I interview the individual or other people interview the individuals, you may have some beginning questions, but often just things come up spur of the moment from the vet. Maybe he hasn't thought of for years, then he'll just share them with you. And those are the things we want to make sure we get on tape.
Officials are looking to document the oral histories of veterans from all wars, from World War I to Korea to Vietnam. And these men and women are living histories, a resource for us all. Their stories tell a tale of triumph, perseverance, and determination. Stories that, in effect, are the stitching that hold this American fabric together.
Their recollections of that they talk to us now about so matter-of-factly of being dropped, as this last gentleman we just spoke with, of being dropped into a military experience, a military setting, a war conflict situation, being fired at. That's your first experience right out of basic training, what have you, and going in there. Extraordinary bravery, and that they're able to get through it and survive and come back and be part of our community here again.
You got to be careful because when you first get in a situation like that, I remember when we had landed and we were in that middle of the regiment, fear overcomes you. And then fear quickly turns to anger, and then anger turns into indecisiveness, so you make mistakes, and any mistake you make could cause thousands of lives to be lost, so you don't want to do that. You just want to keep a cool head and do what you're supposed to do.
And in most cases, like in Richard's, you can take the soldier out of the fight, but never the fight out of the soldier.
Don't give up when we get into a situation. Support the troops that are there.
How much did the support mean to you?
A lot, a lot.
Reporting from the Paramus Veterans Home in Bergen County, I'm Matt Fitzpatrick, WNBC News.
Now on the national front, tonight Democratic presidential nominee Barack Obama is set to deliver his acceptance speech after his historic nomination last night. Also last night, former President Bill Clinton and vice presidential nominee Joe Biden went on the offensive against the Republicans,